just to give you guys a little bit of context, I don't think a lot of you know about OWOZU. It's like a VTuber agency which had all of their entire talent roster walk out last year around January, February. It wasn't really talked about in the EN sphere because the whole Selene situation was going on at the same time. I made a video about them. It was featured on my channel in, I don't remember, it's been a while ago. It's been out for a few months now. Real shady things going on with that company. There's been several lawsuits between them and the talents. 3 lawsuits so far. One of them just concluded. And so the talks have resurfaced. Unfortunately, the girl lost. There seems to have been major oversight on the part of her team or whatever. Because I made another video about it. So go check it out. It's on my second channel. Now what is going on though is that because the conversation has resurfaced, some of the ex-employees and ex-managers that were working there are kind of like going around everywhere doing victory laps, which would be fine in its case if they only did that. Unfortunately, they've begun spreading awful and egregious lies about me, which I have to now put a stop to. Specifically, this one OWOZU, ex-OWOZU manager called Drakeout, who went around multiple content creators' stream to leak my DMs with him, which were pretty polite and standard conversation. Then he's now created absurd lies that are being spread around, creating some kind of echo effect, because one creator is watching this other creator's stream and then they're all reporting on it. First he went on this girl called Nishigami's stream, and now Fuel picked up the story, she's repeating it, created some kind of feedback loop. I don't think Fuel is at fault here because she merely is reporting on what somebody else is saying. I think who's at fault here is definitely Drakeout and perhaps the host of this stream for not looking into any kind of proof or validations into what he's saying. So he is creating this narrative that my information was fed from an ex-OWOZU talent called Raccoon, which is obviously untrue, and I will prove this in the live stream. So it kind of, I got a translation for this. It starts with Drakeout going on Nishigami's stream and he's saying something like, the worst part is, you know what really pisses me off about that? Is that this girl named Rima, the gringa, came up to me once and said, hey, Raccoon told me this. Can you respond to these accusations? And Riglog was there because Raccoon always goes around telling people that Riglog that, Riglog that, Riglog. Okay, so let's just address the first part of this accusation. I never even contacted Drakeout. What happened? Just to show you that, like everything he says is just, I don't understand somebody that lies like this. He's the one that contacted me first. I made a tweet back in September looking for some Spanish translator to help me translating clips, okay? AJ here responds, interesting, are you working on a Wactor video? I say, no, I already somewhat covered Wactor, this is for OWOZU. I just offhandedly replied, hey, I'm doing a video for OWOZU. And I kid you not, literally a few minutes after, Drakeout was in my DMs. Now, I'm not going to do the same thing that Drakeout does. I'm only showing DMs that he's already shown, but he hasn't shown the first part. Our first exchange. And I am not blurring that part because it's important to showcase what the exchange was. He immediately jumps in. It says, hey Rima, just letting you know you should wait a bit before making a video about OWOZU, as in a few days it is known that a judgment will occur finally after 1 year. This obviously wasn't true. It took a very long time for the judgment to occur. Then I respond, the video won't be ready this week, so that's alright. Thanks for the heads up. Would you like to give a statement or your side of the story in regards to the OWOZU allegations? It says, hi again, Rima. So all of that happened on the 27th of September. This is an important date. Now, on the later on, he's like, he agrees to, in the conversation, he agrees to send a statement. So I send him my question. And in my question, this is the first time ever that I mention Raccoon. But all of my research up to that point was done solely on public information, YouTube videos, and tweets that I had seen online. So the raccoon chargeback information I actually got from this video by a creator named Belche, and this is even the B-roll that we used in my own video on OWOZU. So when Drakeout jumped into my DMs and started talking, I kind of had an odd feeling already. I felt like, and this is kind of just the vibe I got, but I felt that it was odd that he was so... I felt like it was odd that I had only like offhandedly responded to a YouTube comment about OWOZU, and yet he had heard about it. It gave me the impression that he was very keenly aware and of any potential talk about him going on the internet. And it's almost like he was anxious and really wanted to be the first one to jump in and control the narrative and talk to me. He really wanted to give his side first. And that's important because his entire lie rests on the fact that he believes that I spoke to him first, which isn't true. But yet, you know, I still give him the benefit of the doubt. Of course, I'm gonna try to do my due diligence, and I still asked him if he wanted to submit a statement, and he did. So after that, he bombarded us with information, and it was very difficult to sort through all of that. I don't know if that's just his style of speaking, or it's just because he wants to, you know, overwhelm you with information to throw you off like a trail or a scent. So anyway, we went back and forth. I'd say the conversation was pretty polite at that point. But and then once he submitted his information, me and my translator decided to reach out to the other parties involved for fairness. Since we had like already collected one side statement, it only makes sense that I got the other side, so the video's not one-sided. So that's when we decided to reach out to Raccoon. Now, I had already tried to reach out to some of the girls before, but I had gotten no response. So I had initially reached out to Raccoon on September 11th, asking if she wanted to provide a statement or something for the video. She didn't respond. She's a very big YouTuber, so I assume she was busy. Then again, on September 27th, after speaking to Drakeout, I decided to reach out again, and then I finally got a response only on September 28th. There's really... this DM is this DM. There's really no other communications in between. That's it. Drakeout reached out on September 27th. Raccoon finally replied on September 28th, and I only got to send her the questions on October 2nd. And the worst part out of all of this is that even after receiving Raccoon's statement, we didn't even include any of her information in the video because we couldn't. Because there was an ongoing lawsuit, and after speaking with her lawyer, she said it could have jeopardized the lawsuit. Any talk about the lawsuit could jeopardize it. So literally everything that Drakeout was saying is actually the complete opposite of what happened. I just feel like I think it's disappointing that every Laytime News reporter and content creator that he talked to took it at face value, even though he never showed them proof that I mentioned that I said that Raccoon told me this. I even double checked our exchange, and her name was never mentioned beside this first question, and it was because I wanted more information about what happened with the chargeback, because the Belche video didn't explain that. At the end of the day, all in all, this just proves that Drakeout is a liar and an unreliable narrator. If he lied about this, I honestly wonder what else has he lied about? And it's even more so ironic that he's trying to paint a narrative. The reason why he's going around these streams and saying these things about me is because he's trying to paint a narrative about the girls orchestrating some kind of mass PR coup against him. But Drakeout, if you're watching this stream, and I'm sure if you're not in the stream right now, you will in the future, whatever you are doing to me right now is exactly what you are claiming the girls are doing to you, except I have concrete proof that you're lying. So who's really in the wrong here? It's crazy. I don't know why he would lie about something so easily disprovable Like, he's either super arrogant or extremely dumb. I said what he said about me exactly. He said, the worst part is, you know what really pisses me off about that? This girl named Rima, the gringa, came up to me once and said, hey, Raccoon told me this, can you respond to these accusations? And then he said, and Riglock was mentioned because Raccoon always goes around and telling people that Riglock this, Riglock that, Riglock this. But there's literally a million threads and videos about Riglock online. I didn't get my information from Raccoon. I just got it from the internet. And then he goes on and he says, okay, let's see you, you soul of a singer Riglock. You had known them in the same year the grooming happened. Now me, I was 13, 14 years old by then. I have the same age as Shira, so that means that didn't know him. This translation is scuffed because he used a lot of lingo. Basically what he said about me is that I was being fed information from the talents in OWOZU and that my video was entirely one-sided because of that, and that like they fed me all of the information in the video, which is not true. I didn't even end up using the statements they submitted to me. So yeah, I don't appreciate other people dragging me into their drama and using me as a way to, I don't even know why he's doing that. Probably because he's fighting against the talents right now and he's trying to use me into that. I don't appreciate the lies and I don't appreciate the slander because I'm very proud of my work ethic and I try to do my due diligence. And this